Oh! Honestly, I'm concerned about everything going on in the world and kind of where I'm at in terms of work and the world, and hopefully everything works out. But let me tell you a little bit about what I'm worried about here today. Hey everyone, Dave K here today, and I am worried. I'm worried about a couple of different things. First of all, I'm worried about the economy and our global health situation and its balance with economic factors, like people being able to work, and I'm going to dive a little bit into that. I'm worried about work for myself, which is kind of more of a micro view of the larger situation, which is the health situation. I'm not sure if my work will continue the way that it's going now, or if things are subject to change, if I won't have work soon. So that's another component here that I'm worried about. And I'm worried on the impact, not just, again, economically in jobs, but also in terms of people's investments, savings. I think about retirement, especially for those nearing retirement, and I'm concerned about that as well. Let me dive into these concerns here today. Now, I'm not generally someone to be afraid or to be worried. You may know me as Brave Dave. And I have a tendency to like to do a variety of different things. I love to travel and see new places. I love to get new experiences, hear different people's perspectives, and try to learn and improve myself. So I'm very open to different perspectives and continuous improvement and just changes to my reality, which I think a lot of people are generally not as open to is change. However, that still doesn't mean that I'm not concerned based on the current situation and the current climate. There's a Warren Buffett quote. A long time ago, Warren Buffett said, "To be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy." And initially, when the stock market was dropping like crazy, I thought to myself, okay, this might be a good idea to be greedy when others are fearful, to invest and to start getting some investing going on. And now I'm starting to have the opposite lens, where I am becoming fearful because I kind of see the world as becoming more greedy in a way. And I don't mean greedy in a negative way. Let me dive into what I mean exactly. When I say fearful when others are greedy, I think that a lot of people are getting excited, and a lot of businesses and politics are all saying economy's going to be opening up real soon, get ready to go back to work, starting making plans for different states to go back to work and reopening these businesses. And I find this as an aggressive play. When I, again, use the phrase greedy, I'm more referring to this in the sense that I think it's really soon to be talking about this based on the number of new cases and based on the number of illness that we're seeing in the country and in the world at the present time. Now, there's a fine balance economically between people and their health and making sure that everyone is staying as healthy as possible, and the economy, in the sense that people need to make money and businesses need to be open. And those two impact each other quite a bit. If you don't have money and you're not able to pay your bills, well, then you find yourself in a poorer health condition because you can't buy food, you can't keep a roof over your head, you can't pay for health insurance or take care of yourself physically. And if your health is poor, then you're unable to go to work, which negatively impacts the economy. So the two are more tied into each other, I think, than people typically realize. When you first think about health and economy are two totally separate things, they're actually a lot more connected than we realize at first thought. This is tying into the problem with the economy reopening. I think that a lot of people and a lot of the system, if I can use that expression, is starting to say, okay, we need to open back up so that people have money to pay their bills. Otherwise, we're going to have such a negative level of income, such a negative level of debt, that we're going to completely kind of dry up the business supply and lead ourselves to a very negative economic downturn for a longer period of time. And I'm thinking like a very negative downturn, like a more than 2008 downturn. So this is definitely a huge concern on my mind. I would say one of the biggest concerns going through my mind right now is there a potential risk here for the economy to go down, 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 especially based on this given climate, if we open up too soon or if we don't open up soon enough, that people won't be able to work enough, or too many businesses will close for extended periods of time, and people won't be able to make the money they need, and therefore the economy will just kind of dry up. Now, I can see this happening in two ways. One is we don't open up soon enough, and a lot of businesses go under and they're not able to start up as quickly, or they're completely out and we have to rebuild whole new businesses in this country. And on the other hand, opening up too soon. And if we open up too soon and people potentially risk themselves getting ill again, we have a huge another downturn where everyone has to stay inside yet again, and we almost start this whole peak all over again, maybe even potentially worse if too many more people are exposed. So it's a challenging situation, and it's a challenging answer to come up with, is how do we balance the economic and the health situation to make sure both needs are met adequately. This makes me think a lot about the future and how we can build businesses in a way that are resilient to these kinds of health situations. So more virtual businesses, more virtual work. I'm hoping this means more virtual work for people all across the country and all across the globe, where we can all find virtual jobs more easily and won't be impacted by illnesses such as this one. But it's something that we need to think about for the future, because there's so much that needs to be done physically in this day and age. We're very fortunate to have the technology that we do, in that many of us can work from home, but there's so many of us who can't as well, and so many of us who have to continue to work that we're very thankful for, those essential workers who make it possible for us to get what we need. But I think about how can we make those systems potentially remote or more physically distant in the future so we can protect our health. So that's one of my bigger concerns at the present time. I don't have an answer on it, and I'm hoping that everything works out. And I think there's a lot of potential and a lot of chance that things work out well, seeing as so many smart people are coming together to work on the issue. But it's still a very big concern on my mind, and it makes me hesitate when it comes to investing. It makes me hesitate when it comes to work as well. And let me dive into the work piece. So another really big concern for me right now is my job. I'm not sure how things will play out with my work situation. I've been very, very fortunate to be able to work remotely for the time period that I have. It's been extremely fortunate. It's been about 9 months that I've been able to work remotely, and it's something I'm so thankful for. But I don't know how this future will unfold. I'm still waiting to see and waiting to hear if work continues to happen in terms of those that I'm working for, if the project work that I do is needed. And if you're looking for some more clarity on what I do, check out the What Do I Do for Work Explained deep dive video. But I'm looking for a little bit of clarity on that, and I'm worried that a lot of these businesses won't have the income to be able to spend to have people like me work on these initiatives for them. And then another concern that I have, that I've had for an extended period of time, is just the physicality of work. You know, I may need to travel, and I've said many times, I may need to travel for work, go back to San Francisco or relocate, otherwise go to new cities and share adventures with you there while I'm working in those cities. But the concern on this front, especially right now, is this illness. I personally do not feel comfortable going to the airport, getting on a plane here at the time of filming in early May, because there's still so much risk and so much potential threat for illness at this time. So I don't feel comfortable if my work says, hey, we need you to get to the airport right now and fly to XYZ location, to be going to do that. And that's a risk for me in the sense that that may be something that I'm obligated to do with my work. It's my job. It's kind of an expectation. But at the same time, it's just not something I feel comfortable or feel safe doing. So I'm very concerned what that would look like for me in terms of what the outcome might be if that would be required or mandated, and then how that would play out. So those are some of my biggest concerns. Of course, I'm concerned about the income and the stock market as well. Less so for myself, because I have more time to stay invested in the stock market, than those who are looking at retirement right now. I know we have a very large generation of baby boomers, those who grew up and who are looking at retirement and saying, I want to retire, now's my time to retire, or I'm getting close to retirement. Maybe they can't retire right now. Maybe they need to find some other work solution, or maybe their visions, their dreams of retirement have been slashed, or the money that they were expecting to make if they retired a month ago, let's say for example, they can no longer make with their income. So again, staying in the workforce longer, or coming up with a new solution to make the money that they have in the market work for them while they're trying to retire. It's a very challenging question, and I feel for so many right now in the economy. I'm hoping we're all able to pull through this, and I'm hoping things get better soon, but I am quite concerned about a lot of these factors, and I know I love to share that positivity and that joy and positive thinking with you, but I wanted to give you a real look into some of the concerns that I have as well. I wouldn't say that I'm too stressed or panicked about it. And I think that's another crucial thing to consider, is you can be worried or you can be concerned about things, but how do you manage that concern? How do you move forward in your day-to-day and continue to complete your objectives while you have those fears or those concerns? For me, it's especially important to put these things in perspective. Let's say my job doesn't come through and I lose my job opportunity, and let's say potentially the economy goes for another downturn. Both of those factors put together could potentially make it very challenging for me to find a new role. That being said, there are a lot of essential services that continue to need help. If there were grocery workers needed, or maybe delivery drivers for Instacart or for food options, or those who provide those services that we need during this time, a lot of those opportunities are still looking for people or continuing to provide hiring opportunities for people looking for roles. So I'm hopeful that in the event that both of those downturn situations occurred, both the economy took a downturn and my job didn't work out at the present time, I'd be able to find some other solution again, whether it be Instacart grocery delivery driver or working at a grocery store or another essential service where I might be beneficial. I'd be able to find some sort of outlet for myself. But it's important to kind of build out that plan in my mind and say, okay, here are the options that I have to help me feel a little bit less worried, a little bit less stressed and concerned about the situation. So I want to let you know as well how I'm managing that stress, how I continue to stay positive in more challenging times. And as I continue to grow my YouTube channel, I'm so thankful for all of you for being a part of these adventures with me to help me build on my future, build towards my goals, and share new, fun, exciting adventures with you. So thank you so much for being a part of the adventures with me as always. Thank you so much for being a part of the fun with me today. What do you think of my discussion with you here today? Are you worried about the economy? Are you more hopeful than I am? I try to stay positive again as well. So do you feel that this detracts from positivity, or do you like my expressing this worry, but at the same time you can kind of hear my positive thinking behind it? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button right there, or there, or there, or there, and staying informed, ringing the bell to stay informed of those future adventures with me. Thank you again, and until next time, play on. So another one of my big worries for myself is my job. I'm lacking a lot of clarity there in terms